about scams, more in a general sense, as well as something related to crypto that one of our members kind of was involved in. So things that are coming up next week, we have a video conference call with members from Shapeshift. Shapeshift's a great company, one of the first companies that I know that was in the crypto space that kind of provided an on-ramp to different altcoins and trade alternative cryptocurrencies. And then the week after that is elections. And without further ado, I'll give it to John to talk to us about scams. Afterwards, we'll have Jacob talk to us about cold storage, secure storage. We'll have Andrew come up about presentations, decentralized applications that have a working product. And then we'll hear from Mitchell from the Gator Cryptocurrency Club joining with us. And he'll touch on that later. So here we go, John. Let's get it up for him.
Before I was asked to do this, I knew nothing about Bitcoin. So you'll see in the materials I handed out a little, like a little research package my law clerk did for me. So the first 2 pages are going to be like really elementary, but that's what I had to do to figure out what this was about. We've done presentations on scams and students with scams for years. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to go through our normal stuff and maybe hit on a couple of things that are, you know, maybe a particular interest to you. A lot of it's probably going to be things you've heard before. The reason I want to hand this out to you is I thought maybe you guys could kind of go through it. And if you have any questions, I mean, I read all of that. I mean, there are several lists of common Bitcoin terms of how to protect yourself. Say later if you want, or if you want to try, if you want to answer it, talk about any particular things when I get to the end here. So, first of all, Student Legal Services. If you don't know who we are, we're attorneys hired by student government for full-time lawyers. We represent University of Florida students only. So, we don't represent the university itself, just the students. I have to give a disclaimer. I'm a lawyer, so we always do those kinds of things. Basically, this is a general educational tool, not specific advice. Specific advice, come see us. So it's not a confidential communication. Landlord-tenant. I've very often included landlord-tenant in my scams presentations because a lot of the scams I see are landlords. And I mean, I cut that out because I'm trying to get through this a lot quicker tonight. And I've given this, I could make this thing last an hour and a half if I did, but be very careful. If you have any leasing problems, or even if you're thinking about signing a lease, come in and see us ahead of time and we'll review for you. So I think that's very important. And traffic tickets are very common. Consumer debt, where the scams come in. People who have been victims of scams who are thinking come and help us, and we try to help them. I mean, very often the money's gone, but sometimes there are some things we could do. I think the rest of that is self-explanatory. Free notary services, by the way, is at the union. A lot of people don't know it. They come up like, damn, I got that for free. All right, for any kind of scams, I mean, you have the red flags. I mean, this is whether you're dealing with school scams or school, or certain things we're going to have in common. A lot of times it's going to start out with a communication from someone you don't know, just right away. Anytime someone's asking you to send cash, be suspicious. And as I'm finding out, sending Bitcoin is apparently quite like sending cash. So, I mean, a lot of the same problems that people have had with that will arise. I know there are conveniences that come with that, but it also has some downside. Anybody that expresses urgency, you got to do this now. I mean, scammers, what I really see from them most of the time is most people who have been, scammed, by the time they come in, I mean, it's already done, but they were suspicious to start with, and they started to question the person. Then these people know they know where that spot is to find, to scare you. International students, I mean, they'll go right for you want to get deported, whatever it is. They're very good at really, making a sense of. And then obviously anything that's too good to be true is too good to be true. So, and still be surprised. Some people just can't. Cashier's check scam, or this could really be any kind of fake. They like cashier's checks because they seem to be more, like authentic from the beginning. This is one of the oldest scams, and there are as many variations of it as there are, just it's only limited by. But the bottom line is someone sends you a check and you think it's a good check. You deposit it in your bank. You wait until your bank tells you the check cleared. Well, that's that the funds are available to you. It doesn't mean it's the next bank. It's clear the originating bank, or the one that's supposed to be bank. So you are convinced in one way or another by the scammer to send them cash or to send them Bitcoin or something like that you can't get back. Well, then days later, sometimes weeks later, that check bounces, and when it does, you're on the hook. You lose. As far as how if you're ever getting a check from someone you don't know, be suspicious to start off with. Don't trust them. Sure.
So in the case of what you said about it, from the perspective of the scammer, they send a check, the message cleared before it is cleared from the other bank that you come back the money and fund it.
Right. Or, well, what they'll do sometimes is this one's people who the check bounces, so they email the person who they think they're best buddies with now, or whoever's buying or selling, whatever transaction it is. And that person will say, oh, wait, no, that was a mistake. I'm going to send you another one. And they'll be double scammed. I mean, I swear the first case I saw of this was a dude, he got taken $1,700. And then he got the second check. And before he went, he came to see me and, he told me the whole story. And he says, I'm might be scammed. First thing, right, man. But I mean, it hit again. But this great sob story about how this happened. And but the main thing is, I mean, check if it's not someone you know that you're not business with. I mean, for the one made out to Atlantic Trade Inc., call that company. Like you're supposed to be Bob. Why in the hell you send me a check from Atlantic Trade Inc.? Do some Google research on Atlantic Trade Inc. Call them, ask them, why am I getting a check from you? And if usually they don't exist at all, but if you really do background on it, most of the time you can determine that it is a bad check. And if you can't, then don't send cash. Don't send Bitcoin until you wait at least 30 days. All right. And if it's an international check, wait longer than that. And I couldn't really find something that said any certain time was long enough for an international check. Wait longer than that. So, any questions about that?
Yeah, so I know somebody, there's a service out there called Local Bitcoin. Yes, but sell Bitcoins or buy Bitcoins using and what is a good form of?
Well, I mean, I don't know enough about the exchanges. Would you get, one thing would be to have money wired? You know, I mean, that's an immediate transfer of currency. You could demand that it be wired. Obviously cash, Bitcoin would be good, but I guess if you're selling it, you don't sell it, you're not buying it too. This is where my lack of knowledge about this stuff.
Right, it sounds like maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably going to be the best way to go if you can get them to do that. And if not, then, you know, if someone says, all I can do, I've got to do it in the form of a check, I've got to wait 30 days. You know, unless it's somebody you know. I mean, if it's somebody that is a reputable company, somebody you've worked with before, your friends have worked with before, you got business associates that can vouch for them, then you may want to take that risk, you know. So, all right. I have several examples of just some common everyday scams. This not really exactly what you guys want to hear about, but it may kind of get you thinking about some of the things that people do to rip other people off. You know, the RU scam was big a couple of years ago, and they still do it every now and then. If someone calls you up and says, I'm going to cut your power off if you don't send me such money, it's a scam. GRU doesn't do that. They send you stuff in writing. I mean, if you've ever actually dealt with GRU, I can see why you would be afraid of that, because they have all the power and they're not afraid to use it or take it away. Bank account phishing. I mean, I think most of us have seen we've gotten so many warnings now that not as many people are taken in by this as they used to. But obviously, if you receive something from your bank that appears to be from your banks, that's very bank, go through it. That way, trust a link someone else sends you. Today's climate, and I mean, like I had someone came in and a person had called this person and told him that he was being investigated by the sex crimes unit, and the guy had a voice like this, and then, I mean, you call back this number and resolve this, or you could do up to 30 years for this crime, you know. I think they're trying to find people that may have looked at, you know, everybody. So, I mean, so this guy's freaking out a little bit. He's like, I've never looked at any kitty stuff. Well, let me take a look at it. I mean, it's just a scam. I mean, the guy, and actually I tried calling that number from my office number, and they started calling me with the same scam. Hey, this is Bob Smith with the Internet Crimes, you know, or Child Sex Crimes Unit. You're going to have to contact us. So, tax. This was another one, again, playing on one's fear about, I believe, easy area. Fake brand scam. Just, you know, how easy it is to steal a logo, steal a phone number, just because it had an immediate appearance legit. Have y'all got this one? I've seen it a couple of times. But I mean, there are actually, there are actually the malwares that will computer able to get them back. Most of these are a scam. Get off. PayPal scam. And this one basically was supposedly PayPal wanting some updated information. And by the way, all of these are things that we've got from students, and we got a whole bunch more. But This one, the person could have easily seen that it wasn't correct. See, it didn't come from PayPal. It's usually a dead giveaway too. A job offer scam. This one came through a lot for a while. And there are a couple of different one, but basically if you apply the too good to be true rule to those, you're going to be good. I threw this one in just for old time's sake. Everyone's heard of this one, you know, so I think even like my mother wouldn't fall for this now. If you didn't play the fake UF account phishing. I mean, I've seen some of these that have actually been pretty credible. I mean, just keep up with the alerts from UFIT and all. If you're not paying attention, I mean, of course they're phishing. But I've had a couple of them come across where I've said, oh man, IT is going to make me do all this. And then I hesitate for a second. Oh, it's a scam. And I call my IT guy. He's like, yeah, delete. Identity theft. I mean, most of these things you all know too. Security number, review your statements really carefully. Use good pens. Ink out the information on your receipts and all when you can. More, you know, don't let your social security number out there. I mean, unbelievable. Checks used to have on our personal check, you know, Jon Adcock, social security number, address, telephone number, you know, everything on it. So, and there's still a lot of information out there, but a lot of that is intuitive now, I think. If you are a victim of identity theft, I mean, there's really two things to do. First, you got to stop the fraud from occurring. So you get the free credit report. Call Student Legal Services if you want. Come in and see us. We'll help you do this. You get a free credit report. You go through it thoroughly. Everything that's not your debt, you have to contact quickly and let them know. You have to close out the bad accounts. You want to probably change the numbers on your other accounts. Make sure you're dealing with the fraud department. And if it's bad enough, you might have to do a total credit freeze, which is not ideal. Sometimes it has to be done. Then the second thing you have to do, you report it. Report it to the FTC and to local law enforcement. UFPD does a good job with it. And just for a little perspective, I mean, I can tell you 10 years ago, I'd get students to try to report any kind of internet fraud, identity theft crimes, and the police departments would say, what do you want me to do about it? You know, you sent your money to some unknown person in, you know, Bangladesh. What do you want me to do? And but they understand now that you have to make that police report, because if you're going to convince anybody down the road that it was actual fraud, they want to see that you make, because that gives you some credibility. Sticking your neck out there, a crime for you to report. So every time we've ever gotten any kind of fraud resolved, identity theft resolved, they want that. So don't think just because they probably won't get your money back for you that it's a useless endeavor. It's something you got to do. We can help you with that. Cyber crimes. I threw this one down a couple of presentations back because, I mean, the outcome is just so terrible. We had a couple of cases. One of them, I know a guy lost $40,000 where, I mean, it's usually sex chat kind of stuff going on, and then the extortion starts. Just a general warning out there, don't do it. You know, if you have any questions about it, just don't do it. There's some resources you can get on our Facebook or UPD, and we just, you know, keep up with the scams as they're going on. Slide for Bitcoin and PayPal scams. Questions?
Are there any like
think that comes from that's no. Yeah, that's a pretty good rule of thumb. And like I said, the too good to be true. I mean, a lot of what I read about the Bitcoin was that, I mean, I mean, there have been cases that people have made and that maybe aren't the wisest things. The general rule hold for the most, if someone is guaranteeing you this large return on investment, and they can't guarantee anything. I mean, especially or smaller ones. I mean, they blow up at any moment. One of the best things I read in there was, rule number one for investing in Bitcoin: don't invest it unless you can afford to lose it. You know, it's like going to that. Great, but yeah. Because I mean, we have not specialized in this area; it's new to us, but we don't. That way, one person can
Was there any?
activity of the student. I mean, we amended it for some limited. Help in this area. How much money you're talking about? I mean, I'm only one tax expert. The whole investment field, you know. And I would want to be, if I was going to into this too. So,
Very much. All right, perfect. So yeah, obviously very prevalent, especially with cryptocurrencies, phishing related to the internet. I mean, this money that you can't really get back. It's forever immutably sealed in the blockchain. You're not going to be able to get your funds back. So this is very important. And along with kind of preventing scam fraud, there are estimates that there that there are about like 10% worth, 10% of all Bitcoins that have ever been created are lost completely. Most of them from people that didn't think it was going to be worth anything and they threw away their hard drive. But there's definitely no shortage of stories out there with people that just sent money to a wrong address and they can never get it back, or they didn't back up their wallets properly. So is Jacob to come out here and talk about how to secure. See, all right, Jacob. All right, that's right here.
All right, what's up, guys? Today I'll be giving a pretty brief presentation on essentially best ways and worst ways to store your cryptocurrencies. I broke it down into 3 tiers. Tier 1 is, and tier 3 is you really shouldn't be doing this. So tier 1 is cold storage. First of all, we're essentially hardware wallets, which are, if backed up correctly, it's by far the most secure way of storing your coins. A hardware wallet is essentially any device that contains a user's private keys. There's no way of transferring private keys. It means they're immune to viruses that commonly affect with the Windows operating system. Hardware wallets, unlike paper, all off the hardware wallet. And many of them come with 2-factor authentication. So you have to authenticate with the hardware wallet, enter your password, all that stuff, and then you still authenticate with your phone. One of the major drawbacks, though, is only maybe 10, and you have to a computer in order to spend the funds. So there's no real mobile support, so you can't just walk up to your QR code and scan. Smart. Exactly. And another thing about hardware wallets is, even if you do lose your hardware wallet, if you back up the seed correctly, you can get another hardware wallet and then restore it with the same seed. So always make sure, always back up. Next one is paper wallets, which is basically a secure document that contains all the data, the private key. Their benefits are that they're not exposed to malware because they're not online. You can easily store it in a safe deposit box, just basically anywhere you can store a regular document. The major drawback of paper wallets is that it's a very tedious, very particular process you need to undertake in order to make sure you are generating the most secure paper wallet. You need to have an offline computer, make sure there's no malware on it whatsoever. One of the major drawbacks also is that once you use a paper wallet, you basically can't use it again because that private key is compromised. So it's only really feasible for long-term storage. Yeah.
In an ideal world, yes.
I think it should only be used once you take the private key off the paper wallet and exposing it to malware and stuff like that. The simplest way of putting your coins into cold storage is by basically encrypting a flash drive and putting your seed on it. Essentially, it's very simple. You can use it on any flash drive, store it anywhere, but you have to make sure to encrypt it, because if anyone finds the flash drive in any way, they can just plug it in. All your stuff, all your private keys are there. You have to make sure to back up multiple times and store it in multiple locations. You should never have one point of failure in backing up anything. Yeah. 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 I know Monero, when you create a wallet, you can create a view-only wallet, which means you're only key, which means if, let's say if someone were key, they would only be able to view what's on your wallet. They wouldn't be able to spend it. So if you had like your spend key like extremely hidden and your view key more like in plain sight kind of thing. All right, next up is tier 2, which are hot wallets. A hot wallet is essentially a wallet that's still on a desktop or mobile app, but it's connected to the internet or almost all the time. First form of a hot wallet is a full node, which is any computer that's connected to a cryptocurrency's network and is storing a complete copy of the blockchain. And it is currently the only form of a trustless way of using. You are one of the active stores of the blockchain and you're verifying the transactions. Public blockchain like Bitcoin, it is the most private way of doing it. You are the only person that knows your address unless you tell it to someone. A run a full node would be a basically always on computer connected to the internet and a very large amount of hard drive space. I think the Bitcoin blockchain currently takes up like 145 gigabytes of space and it takes an extremely long time to sync. Next, you have a light wallet. A light wallet is, in my opinion, the best compromise between security and ease of use because you still control your private keys, but yet you don't have to download the entire blockchain because what you do is you connect to an external node run by someone else and essentially just scan the blockchain from there. But this kind of moves towards a trusted setup because you have to trust that the person running your external node that you're connecting to is storing the legitimate, like, non-compromised version of the blockchain. A light wallet is just a version of a hot wallet.
What does a hot wallet include? The light wallet?
Like a full node and a light wallet. Just any wallet that is continuously connected to the internet that you can like actively spend from. I know Electrum moving towards something where you can run your own Electrum node kind of thing. It still requires like it's like a kind of mix between a full node and a light wallet where you're essentially connecting to your own external node. But other than that, no, you still have to essentially trust whoever's running that external node. A light node is just the headers. Yeah. A light connect to the full node. Yeah.
So as a light node,
a light to connect to a full node. If you're connecting to it. Yeah. All right, next we're going to move towards online. The most prevalent are exchanges. By far, the least secure way to store your funds. There are highly hacks, fraud, and exit scams. If you aren't actively trading, I would beg you to take your coins off of exchanges. If you are trading, I beg you to use two-factor authentication whenever you can. This will help mitigate almost all scams, hacks. Yeah, it's basically it for exchanges. Just please exchanges. These are the largest exchange hacks in existence. We all know Mt. Gox. There was 850,000 Bitcoin stolen. Bitstamp 19,000. Bitfinex 220,000, and most recently the BitGrail hack, which was 17 million Rye blocks was stolen. Just basic wallet do's and don'ts. When you set up a hot wallet or basically any wallet on your computer, prompted to password encrypt it, I would highly recommend this, but still always back up your password. If you're using an online wallet, make sure the website you're connecting to is the website you're trying to go to. I would highly recommend always typing in the website you're going to. Don't Google search like Binance or anything, because there are phishing scams out there that will like swap like a different letter A that you just can't recognize. If you're using wallet software, always use open source software. Never trust your funds to code that you can't verify. And back up everything in at least 5 places. I speak from experience. If you are backing up your seeds on a computer, always encrypt it, never leave it in plain text, because there are forms of malware that can read your files and take those seeds. And if you are trading on exchanges, I would only recommend leaving portions and moving to and from as needed. Yeah.
In the case of like non-exchange computer security, recommend generate well-encrypted passwords and storage.
I know what you're talking about, but you could use that, but as long as efficiently long enough, you're fine. Like I know like there's like a lot of people who recommend like throwing in random characters into your password and stuff. But if you just make your password, like I recommend like 6 random words out of nowhere and just stringing them together as your password and like writing it down on paper and encrypting it, because that's a lot easier than like trying to mess with a bunch of different symbols. But yeah, as long as it's like 30 characters long, like it's about the same. All right, I think that's about it. Any questions, comments, concerns? Cool. All right. And anyone has questions on how to set up wallets or anything, just come up to any meeting, if not this one.
Yeah, and I actually also have experience. If Andrew, you want to come down here and get decentralized application, credible ones that have a working product. No investment advice or anything like that. Do your own research in these projects that Andrew will present. But yeah, I have experience myself losing or not backing properly my wallet. Multiple hundreds of dollars to get the information back. I tried to back it up and my backup was corrupted, and I didn't realize my backup was corrupted. So definitely back up multiple times, check up on your backups. Yeah, I didn't think I would be stupid enough to let it happen to me, but I was. I was lucky I was able to. Just wait. Just try. All right, you got it. Yeah. I guess we can invite Mitchell up here to talk. Cryptocurrency Club and the Gator Bitcoin Club. So we've sort of collaborated to move forward in the fall as the Gator Blockchain Club to be a sort of hub. President of the Gator Club, he'll be joining us. Yeah. Thank you, Mitchell. I don't know if you want to say anything about it.
Sure.
About that, or?
So yeah, Gator Cryptocurrency Club, we really only have been active this semester, and a lot of our material is just like this. It's been me and my team giving presentations on different things. Our second meeting was directly on wallet storage, and more recently on different types of exchanges. And after speaking with Nathan and some of your other team members a lot, it became very clear we have a lot of the same goals, a lot of the same missions that we want to accomplish here. And it's kind of just our unanimous opinion that we think we can accomplish a lot more if we just We have one cohesive name that every student on campus can go to when they have any questions or want to talk about cryptocurrency or blockchain, whether it's technology, investments, or any question they may have. It's just a much better option to have us all working together, and I think we'll be able to accomplish a lot more this fall. We're not just brand new to this. You know, we've been researching this. We've been active this semester, working all last semester, trying to get started. We're very familiar with the ins and outs of the Student Involvement Office, and we're not just here to stop by every once in a while. We're here to actually make a difference and make this club have an impact on campus.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Building up the space, collaborating, and so, Andrew.
So my presentation is going to be on decentralized applications, which I'm just focusing on a lot of cryptos that actually have a product, because we're getting to the point in the stage of the space that coins are actually not coins anymore. There's products and there's companies being built. There's real money being spent here. There's a lot of stuff going on that's really important, and it's starting to look more and more like it's like the real thing, which is crazy past like two years, but this year and this past year is really picking it up. That we use. What's first decentralized application is Steemit. It's been out since 2016. I'm a big fan of Steemit. I'm actually on Steemit. I write blog posts, but this is not financial advice. I do not recommend you invest in Steemit or put any time in Steemit. It's my own decision. But essentially, Steemit is a site that you can think of Quora or Medium, where you write a blog post and you get paid if you get your work upvoted, or if you comment on other people's work. And the key here is the people with more money on their accounts, they have more of an influence in the system, and it's a staking process as well. So obviously, if you have more money in your account, you get more interest rate. So essentially, you own Steem, and you can send the network, but really it's mainly used for just blog posts. You can read and upvote, and like it's really a lot like Quora. And essentially, the thing with Steemit though that's interesting is there is about 3 other branches of Steemit of D apps that run on the platform. So when Steemit was created in about 2016, it was a brand new, right? So not many users. Actually started to get big. There's actually now 1 million users on the platform. But some people came along and decided to take this idea, use it for streaming service. So centralized YouTube, which is called DTube, that does the same thing. It pays you for your videos. So again, if you have more money, you have more influence in the ecosystem, and so your vote is worth more. You can upvote your own article. So if you have a lot of money, you can make like maybe $1 on upvoting your own article, but your own vote isn't unless you're talking like millions of dollars in your account. And then there's also PE Live, which is a decentralized Twitch. So this guy made decentralized YouTube, and then pretty sure a different dude came along and was like, let's make decentralized Twitch. So there's decentralized Twitch as well, which is a streaming. You get paid through your Steem. These accounts are all connected. And then there's D-Mania, which is legitimately like, you can laugh. It's memes. People post terrible memes on there and make money on there. It's the biggest joke. That where it gets to be an issue as to more like, this is just like, doesn't make sense. Like, how are people getting paid for this kind of stuff? So the issues with that. Steemit has some issues. First, there's upvote bots. So you pay to get your article voted and to make money on your article. Essentially, there's like a return on investment. You're not just going to make a post and make a bunch of money. There you make a post, you have to hold on to your Steam for 13 weeks and it gets staked and it makes interest on there, and you have to go through a process called powering down prior to even taking it out and exchanging it. That's been an issue. And the quality of content on there. And I think that think well, right. Those three are essentially is not itself. Right. I agree. Running on the blockchain, then you to that home-based serving. I agree. Like, you just write about cool stuff. I do a lot about my it's actually I'm going on and on about this, but like I send my different accounts in exchange in upvote, and so to me, even if it's for a bot, to use a crypto for its actual pure cash is like what we need to see in this world for this actually for this whole entire thing. True, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be Steam. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin. Something has to be used for pure cash for this. And I think it's and that's my link. I click on it. I talk too long about it. All right, next is Lunar. Loon is the abbreviation on exchanges. So it's a decentralized Wikipedia, essentially. So you write a post, you have to write 500, like edit it. You write a post, you have to write 500 words. It can't be, I'm pretty sure it can't be NS. Actually, no, FW, I think. And then the people who peer, so you get paid to upload good articles and people get paid to peer edit your articles. For Lunar. I also really like, I haven't started on Lunar yet. It's there who makes a fair amount of money. You spend gas somehow, somewhere on the system, and I wrote one article. Like, it's cool, you make 20 cents an article. I mean, I paid 8 cents in gas, so I paid 12 cents on just an article. It's kind of random. But the problem with that is that, like, for Wikipedia, and it didn't get checked for. Well, like if it's like UF, it like that was an issue. I was like, okay, they have to step up their game in getting people not to cheat. You can just cheat, and you can just make about a bunch of money on just like everybody else's work. So it's not an issue I have with Lunar, but I think it's going in the right direction. People contributing for a good cause, which everybody wants to make money. It seems like, and if the thing value, if Lunar brings you value, then it could work. I think that and Steam had that both problem. People or else they're just not going to exist for a while. But that's next. We got MetalPay. All right, MetalPay is really cool. So think of Cash App, and so or $10. It's right here. I send you $100. It's 5%. I get $5. You get $5. But you get paid in metal. So you get paid in the crypto. You have a wallet on that app. I'm pretty sure it's coming out this month. Are earning metal just for hanging out. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to send you bucks very often, but it would be cool just to you know. But that's essentially metal. This explains its mining algorithm. It's peer-to-peer payments. Proof of process payment. That's a completely new one. I'd never heard. But that's new. What's up? Exactly. I'm sure they have thought about it, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure one of their developers was like, dude, let's just do this and make a bunch of money. But you can spend thousands and thousands in metal, or yeah, I'm sure they have a solution. What's up? Yeah.
You say
I would think so. It would be used in Venmo so that does sort of make it a little not decentralized because you have to insert your information, but inserting your information isn't the problem with the centralization. The problem is the actual storage of the data and how the network is power. In my opinion, into an app that's like Venmo or something like that, but you may or other people may, and that could be a big issue. I think so. What's up? There's crypto trading pairs. Like I currently don't buy metal, but I like this is how I know because I did my research and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's an app that pays you so money, but yeah, it on Binance. It actually just got delisted off 3 months ago maybe, and it dumped so hard, like epic dump, like epic. Oh my goodness! And then it's making its way up a little. That's why I bought it. I was like, okay, dumped off tracks. Like this is like this is so low. But anyways, yeah. I actually okay. So I averaged in like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, like small portion. It kept going low, and I bought a little more, and then it went up, and I was like, okay. CoinMarketCap, and then I saw it about a month ago. I was like, all right, cool. This is awesome. I'm definitely gonna hold this coin now because the release. They're already released an announcement, but the problem right now is with the news, like it doesn't have the same effect. Like I would swear a coin would announce like an airdrop or like a little tiny little phone or something. Thing would just fly. Like and now like that companies are launching real products with like real world use case applications and like apps and like coins. Like it's just not doing anything. It's like so I'm thinking the coins that get out during the next bull market are going to be the ones who appreciate or get the highest price appreciation due to the news because in this current like bear market / sticky situation, it's not looking too good for like. Super low market cap coin actually it's like sub like and I don't care if you buy. You know, growing this coin. So it's got a lot of following on Twitter. The platform's really. I think the decentralized exchange part is huge. Whichever decentralized exchange wins the race is going to blow up. Everyone's going to use it because guess what, guys? Taxes. And who wants to pay taxes? Not us. So, but I mean, I recommend you guys pay your taxes because you don't want to get in trouble for that tax evasion. That's like that one guy from Alcatraz type stuff. You don't want that. What's up? Yeah, I believe they're only. Well, it's because they run on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's ERC20 tokens run on the Ethereum blockchain. I believe only supports the Ethereum blockchain tokens. That to me is a major flaw. Like that. I'm sorry, but I do like it though. Is a big flaw in the system.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's obviously a flaw, but I think they.
I'm going to talk about. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, it's the future. Is that coins running on their own blockchains and cross chaining and using? Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Kinda. Yeah. Oh, it does. Oh, I'm wrong then. Yeah. So this one's really similar to Ethereum. It's pretty new. It's top 10 in the market cap, the coin. Essentially, it's just decentralized apps, but it's like a lot easier than what you would think of Ethereum. I have another one next. I believe it's called Dragon Chain, which I'm trying to start anything like go right now and get going. I think it's so. But anyways, EOS for now. It's essentially just you can bring all these different parts of smart contracts together and use them. I've even read articles that says that if EOS created a Steemit 2.0, they would completely take over Steemit. So it's like just the features of it and side is very good, and it's been experienced serious up in terms of price. But these D apps, you got to think of price and more of like long term. Like, you know, is this going to be around? Like, would I actually use this? Like, do I deriving value from this application? And if you don't, you can automatically throw it in the trash because you know other people are. You know, I think that a lot of people have really EOS and have found it to be a promising new development feature, but it's also brand new. So you really are, investing in it or even in it because it has yet to see any parity hacks or anything that's like serious that like brings about like bad news. But I guess until a coin or platform experiences that, then you can only assume the good. You had a question? Any of you guys? No, I don't. Yeah, no. Do they? Oh, they don't. No. All right. Well, I still think it's good when they come out with a working product. It sounds good. Damn, my whole entire presentation was working product when I didn't have a working product. That's sad. All right, though, guys. Thanks. No, exactly. Yeah, but it kind of sounds like an Ethereum killer, which I don't really like. You know, Ethereum guy too.
I don't know much about those.
Yeah.
Saw that it was on Jon Adcock.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've heard that it's
it has its own. That's the reason why I didn't put it on there. Yeah. Dude, that's why this one's the coolest one, I promise you. It's so cool. So, yeah, literally. As long as you know how to code, okay? I don't know how to code. So Nathan, this could be great because this could be what to do. I'm sure you all this stuff, but this sounds like a really easy way to so like you have to be a lot more skeptical about it, but it just had. So essentially, it's just a coin, and yes, you can read in the middle about Tron, but wait until I blow your guys' minds about Tron. At least I think. Okay, so essentially, he just partnered with this app in Singapore called. Think about Uber here, right? You know, Lyft, and so there's a multi-billion-dollar bike market over there for bike sharing. So you drop your bike off, somebody comes grabs it, and then they drop it back, or they drop it somewhere else, and you get it. It's your bike, and you rent it out during the day for profit, and you make money on it, just like an Uber driver drives. It's like potentially, I have not like got into like the actual logistics, but I would assume there's some sort of security to make sure that stuff doesn't get stolen, or maybe there's just good. Doubt that. I'm not really sure about that. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like when you go to the airport, you get a little sort of like that. But yeah. So essentially, the Odyssey coin on this platform to basically be used as a means of like value sharing. Now this may not be exactly decentralized application, but it is definitely a coin that is being given like a great use, I think. And so, as you can see, it just says about the biking, how transportation is viewed, blah, blah, blah. You know, O-Bike is the app that's used in different countries. So O-Bike is the app, but OCN is the coin. While OCN doesn't have its own, you know, application, just one, it's used on an application, which I'm pretty sure it's probably a centralized app, but I think it's really, really cool. That's the reason why I included it. But so essentially, this is where Tron comes in. So Tron is launching a mainnet, right? So ERC20 tokens, there's going to be Tron 20 tokens now. So think about like, I don't know, like BAT or TRX, coins like that, but ran on the Tron mainnet. And this coin raised 50 million rate in the ICO in 24 hours, and it explains it at the bottom with the credit. Let me address the fly in the room. It's Tron. You know, Tron's crap. Tron's run by Justin's son, who scams people on Twitter and is fake, and he's whatever. You know, everybody. I agree. Tron has not done anything correct. It seems like there's been a huge price pumped up the freaking coin market cap somehow top 10 on the first time it's even been out. Like, you got to be check if you get that pump. Complete, just vertical. Everybody just hates total trash. But doing a little bit more research into like what it actually does, it's pretty cool. It's so starting its mainnet. It's launching within, I think, a week. I believe it's this week. It's actually launching. But it's home of the Odyssey token and O-Bike. So essentially, it's starting to create its own tokens. So I don't know. To like trigger this, but it seems like a lot of currencies are starting to release their own mainnets on their own blockchains. They want to be sort of like, it seems like they're just starting to not rely on the Ethereum blockchain in the way of having to, you know, create your smart contracts all on there. And while this makes it seems to make it less centralized because not everybody's using it, also can make it a little bit more centralized because now these are just solid entities running on their own blockchain. There doesn't seem to be very much outreach in terms of the code, but of course it's on GitHub. It's all open source and stuff like that. But that's the only skeptical part. If someone could understand that a little more and fill me in, that would be great. I don't understand why apps aren't using the Ethereum blockchain when they have been. But Tron's trying to start its own thing, 20 tokens, Tron 20 tokens. I don't. Saying that Tron could pump to the moon and like, oh, you missed out. That Tron actually, but I'm like a mean guy just for doing like the white people the presence is just kind of off. Just I don't know. Like Eastern, there's anything going on sketchy, but it seems to me like I would assume this mainnet is going to pump the price up. It isn't already going, but at the announcements, you can't really tell anymore. But you could. This is the last part. Do your own research and financial advice. Do not my judgment or call any coin. I could be completely wrong. I have my own ideas. You have your own, because you can think on your. Don't think about that too hard, because then you'll realize that you're just a sheep, because your thoughts are part of everyone else's thoughts and everything you've heard. Conversation, man. We're gonna talk about that now. Anyways, we got decentralized applications. Okay. Has no value to me. If a crypto has no platform, nothing. Right. This probably is they soon will. All cryptocurrency, not financial. Coins die. I mean, and if there's no FA back, probably not a great decision, because I think, if just think like it. And similar to So there's going to be soon, in my opinion, and are like the Amazon, the Netflix, and like those type of space. And like, it's not a game. Like, you want to find those because you want to be on those projects when they fly up. And like, that's just the stress of, you know, doing your own research, finding good coins, good product, good companies. And I think it'll take time. And that's why I think decentralized applications are important. And I encourage you guys to do your own research. This was not financial advice. I do own some of the coins in this, but I do not own others. And I encourage you guys to look them all up on your own. And I appreciate you having me up here.
That's it for the meeting. I'm going to stick around here, have some discussions, especially with Andrew about Tron. Yeah, but just coming up again, we have the Shapeshift video conference call next week. The week after that is elections, and then we're out of here. The semester's over. So thank you everybody for coming, and have a nice rest of your day.